parenting safety. Safe parenting means looking after your child's physical and emotional well-being. It includes keeping them safe at home, protecting them from abuse, taking care of their health and medical bills. Children play intuitively and are constantly exploring different ways to play. Some do this with caution while others continually seek out new challenges. Either way, a child's right to explore, play and discover is something that as parents and caregivers we must protect. It enables them to develop, grow and learn and become confident and capable characters. A family is the first line of protection for children. Parents and caregivers are responsible for building a safe and loving home environment, and every safety skill you teach your child can be carried with them thoroughly throughout their childhood discovery. Schools and communities have a responsibility to protect also, but it is part of their home life that basic safety skills should be taught. The earlier you start conversations surrounding basic safety, the better, and it needs to be an ongoing conversation. Even if you aim to be continually present, you must be realistic and understand the importance of letting your children stand on their own 2 feet. As much as you would like to, you can't physically protect them 24 hours a day, so by teaching them to protect themselves, you put them in a good stead for a healthy and happy future. Tell your child to avoid talking to people they don't know when you're not around. Make sure your child knows never to walk away with strangers. Teach them the basic content information. Never let your children play near roadside unsupervised. You can reduce risks by teaching your children how to cross. Teaching your children about good touch and bad touch can help them determine when someone has misbehaved or behaved inappropriately with them. Make sure your child understands that they should always tell you if a stranger approaches and never to keep this secret. Kids are often told to keep something their friends or siblings did secret, but teach them that they should believe the activities was dangerous, harmful, or really naughty. They should not be afraid to tell you. Offer your assurance. Reassure your children that their safety is your #1 concern. Teach your children, set boundaries about places they must go, people they must see, and things they may do. It's okay to say no. Tell your children to trust their instinct. Protection stirs up feelings of strength and positivity. It makes children feel safe and secure. But did you know, when you show your children how much you love them, it provides one of the most protective forces in their lives. What is parenting safety? Safe parenting means looking after your child's physical and emotional well-being. It includes keeping them safe at home, protecting them from abuse, taking care of their health and medical bills. Children play intuitively and are constantly exploring different ways to play. Some do this with caution while others continually seek out new challenges. Either way, a child's right to explore, play and discover is something that as parents and caregivers we must protect. It enables them to develop, grow and learn and become confident and capable characters. A family is the first line of protection for children. Parents and caregivers are responsible for building a safe and loving home environment, and every safety skill you teach your child can be carried with them thoroughly throughout their childhood discovery. Schools and communities have a responsibility to protect also, but it is part of their home life that basic safety skills should be taught. The earlier you start conversations surrounding basic safety, the better, and it needs to be an ongoing conversation. Even if you aim to be continually present, you must be realistic and understand the importance of letting your children stand on their own 2 feet. As much as you would like to, you can't physically protect them 24 hours a day, so by teaching them to protect themselves, you put them in a good stead for a healthy and happy future. Tell your child to avoid talking to people they don't know when you're not around. Make sure your child knows never to walk away with strangers. Teach them the basic content information. Never let your children play near roadside unsupervised. You can reduce risks by teaching your children how to cross. Teaching your children about good touch and bad touch can help them determine when someone has misbehaved or behaved inappropriately with them. Make sure your child understands that they should always tell you if a stranger approaches and never to keep this secret. Kids are often told to keep something their friends or siblings did secret, but teach them that they should believe the activities was dangerous, harmful, or really naughty. They should not be afraid to tell you. Offer your assurance. Reassure your children that their safety is your #1 concern. Teach your children, set boundaries about places they must go, people they must see, and things they may do. It's okay to say no. Tell your children to trust their instinct. Protection stirs up feelings of strength and positivity. It makes children feel safe and secure.
That's little bits from our montage. It makes me like, you know. Anyway, you're welcome back. It's Family and Values, and we have our guest already seated here with us. Today we're looking at child safety. And we'll talk about parenting. You know, we're just trying to let you know what we're going to be into as we started early this morning. Child safety. To you, what is child safety? Is it just about you trying to know how they cross, how they get to school and all that? We have someone in the house who is a child safety advocate, Director of Communication and Compliance Safety for Schools, Lagos State. And she's also a colleague. Her name is Jumi. I call her Jumi Michaels. But her name is Jumoke Michaels. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. Good morning.
And you're
Good
looking so
morning,
beautiful.
Thank you. Good morning.
I love loyalty. You are in the same clique we have because you have purple and lilac.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just looking at what I'm going to take anyway.
Thank you.
How
Thank
are
you for
this
having
morning?
me. I'm very well.
It's so
Happy
good
New
to
Year.
have you.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Good to be here.
Same
Thank
to
you.
Okay, so what would you describe to be child safety as a child safety advocate?
Child safety is all about ensuring that a child is safe. Let's not even talk about children. Let's look at it as an entity, an individual. It's all about ensuring that the child is safe. And we know that a child is a very delicate human that doesn't know anything, you know. So there has to be someone who's in charge of that child's safety, ensuring that the child is safe as a baby, as a toddler, as a young adult, you know, even when they are 15, 16, 17, they still need to be supervised. So child safety is all about ensuring that wherever a child is, that child is safe and secured.
Okay, are there necessary things that need to be put in place to enhance child safety, maybe from the parents, from the society generally? Are those things that need to be put in place too?
Yes, the bulk stops majorly with the parents.
Okay.
I don't know. Parents is a whole lot of work for parents because they say that charity begins at home. You know, it starts with little things as knowing daddy's name. You ask a child, what's your daddy's name? You say, Daddy. Do you understand?
I get that.
On Saturday, I was trying to talk to one child just to try to see if it's really what's happening. And I said, what's your daddy's name? He said, Daddy Avela. Very funny, right?
Yeah,
but parents don't know that your child should know your name. He even tried. I said, so what's your mommy's name? He said, Tayo.
Oh, wow.
I said, Tayo what? And then he was looking. And this is like a 6-year-old. Wow. So that is poor, very poor. A child should know the parent's name. We're talking about safety.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not all about, don't take things from strangers. Don't allow a stranger touch you. Don't pick things on the floor. You know, those are normal or general safety tips that parents think they can give to the child. A child must know your name. What about knowing your house address? Know where you live. Because we live in very dangerous times where you can't even predict what can happen the next minute. So it's very, very important The child knows your house address. The child knows the phone number of at least one parent. At least one parent, or at least one number that you are sure that somebody will always speak. You know? And then you can easily teach them these things. It's just that parents always form busy. Well, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But then we must give children time. You can teach them like a song. You can teach them in the form of a rhyme. You know, make it interesting for them to learn. I remember growing up, how did I learn traffic light? The red light says stop. The green light says go. The yellow light says wait till you go.
Yeah, I still remember
Very
that.
simple. That's how I learned to. I thank God you know it. I'm not the only one. So, you know, little things like this. Teach them. 080-233-47. Before you know it, this thing stays in their head. So we must teach them your name, your house address, your phone number, ensure that they know anywhere they are. And then you also warn them, it's only in a matter of emergency. Not just that anybody asks you and then you are reeling out information. Children are very smart, especially the children we have now. They are very smart. All you need is give them instruction and they stick to that instruction, okay? And then another one for parents. You know, Lagos State is all about safe schools now. And I don't think so many people even know yet. You know, we are driving a system where parents get fully involved in knowing their children's school. It's not just about dropping the child in school in the morning and you zoom off. How well do you know the school that your child attends? How well do you know their safety program? What are the things that have been put in place to ensure that your child is safe in the school? Do you go around the school to look for safety hazards? Things that could be dangerous for your child and even any other child in that school. There was a school we went to one time and there is something for drainage. You know, this iron they put, you know, so that when it's, maybe when you want to clean the gutters, you can just remove and then, you know. But one of our agents actually feet slipped into, yes, slipped into in between those iron barriers, yes. So you can imagine if it's a child. So can a parent go around that school and see something like that and say, no, this is dangerous, it has to be changed, or something else has to be done? Little things like that. When visitors come to the school, do they sign in? As a parent, you should know, because that is a hazard. When people just enter into the school premises without any form of monitoring, is a hazard. That's visitors' procedure. And when they enter into the school, do you give them tags? To know who and who is a guest and who is a staff. You know, you have to be able to differentiate. Little things like that. Do you see that? Yeah. You know, these are little things that, very important that parents must take cognizance of. And then another thing is, you know, because of time, I'm just, you know, trying to point out as many as I can. Parents do something that is very, very terrible to the school community and to the safety of other children. And that's that they don't declare their child's health status.
They do not.
Whether the child is sick, has cold, has cough, has measles, has anything, you still take that child to school. The school is not a hospital. The school is a school, is a learning environment. So it is very, very dishonorable, and I'm purposely and intentionally using that word. It is very, very dishonorable for a parent to take a sick child to school. And then you quickly drop the child and zoom off.
And go off.
Or you drop the child's medication for the teacher. That is absolutely wrong, because that's a safety hazard for other children and even the teachers, because you can catch cold,
that's why
you can pick up the cough,
yes, yes.
and then before you know it, you have an emergency in the school environment. All the children are coughing, the children are sneezing, you know, and all that. So, and then if your child has an allergy, any allergy at all, you must report. You should let the school know.
No.
If your child have any health challenge, you know what I mean by health challenge?
Yes.
Maybe the child is a sickle cell,
Or
asthmatic, what do they call these?
Some of them
sorry,
are diabetic too.
diabetic, epileptic. You know, there was an incident that happened sometime last year. I will not mention the name of the school, but when I narrate it, you will get it. You know, that the child died. Yeah. And they were saying it's electric shock.
Yeah.
You know, because the child was convulsing. Yeah, the child was convulsing. So everybody thought it was electric shock. But why would electric shock not affect those who are pouring water on the child? Eventually, it was discovered that the parents never told the school authority that this child is epileptic.
No wonder the case was not pursued.
Exactly.
Yes, because there was noise all
There was noise, and then we didn't hear anything
yes,
anymore.
Yeah.
The child was epileptic, and the parents never told the school authority. So you see, when children have health challenges, you should be able to let the school know. They will know what to expect. They will know what activity not to involve that child. So that's why I say a lot lies with the parents when it comes to child safety. Whether it's at home, whether it's at school, whether it's on the road. Even when we take it to the road, many parents just say, look left, look right, make sure there's no oncoming vehicle before you cross the road. But the parents will not tell the child which side of the road to walk on. I think this one is very, very serious. Because you just find children walking on the side of the road. They don't know.
They don't.
They don't know that when you're walking on the road, you must always walk on the right side. Ensure that you are facing oncoming vehicles. So they just walk on the side of the road. Or you find parents walking on the side of the road, holding children at the side of the traffic.
Yeah, I've had encounters such as
that is even worse.
You know, because, and you find out that some of these parents don't even know either. So how do you teach what you don't know?
Okay, so what are the elements that one needs to contribute to safety in the area of, you know, the children and even the younger ones?
Education, education, and education, like what we are doing now. You know, creating avenues where children, or rather parents, because this thing is all encompassing. Everyone needs the knowledge. Nobody can be left out of the issue of child safety, because at one point or the other, you might not be the parent, but maybe a child is left in your care. You have to know what to do. So it's all about education. That element is education. Transfer of knowledge, not just knowledge, correct, right, appropriate knowledge when it comes to issues of child safety. Education, like we are doing. Always ensuring that people hear the right thing on television, on radio, gatherings, trainings, conferences. We had one last year where we invited all education stakeholders to learn about child safety. In fact, Lagos State has gone to the extent of that. They are now awarding schools that are compliant with school safety.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
You hear issues of a child drowning in a swimming pool in school. You hear of a child collapsing on the sport field. You hear of children getting kidnapped right in front of the school. You hear of school buses crushing children to death right in front of their house. So a lot of negative happenings has made the government know that there's need to help let people know about this child safety so that everybody can begin to put the right things in place. Last year also, something happened in Lagos State. You heard about a school bus driver that started molesting a child somewhere in Iju-Shaga.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I shared that story.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Iju-Shaga. The driver is the one, that child is the one he drops last. Every day.
Every day.
So in between the time she's the only one left in the bus, and when it takes her
advantage of
home,
her.
it takes advantage of the child. And when the child eventually tells the father went to school the next day, a fight broke out, and in the middle of that struggle, he hit his head on the driver hit the man's head on the wall, and the man died. So you see, there's need that even parents should know even how the school employs the school drivers. What is the process of employment? What is the process of background check? Parents must be that interested in their child's safety.
Okay, Ma, you've talked about Lagos State and what Lagos State is doing now.
Yes.
Are there policies that they've put in place to help? And I'm not just talking about policies that are not implemented. Is it policies that they are carrying out, especially private schools? Because I think for the public schools, the government schools, there is a whole lot they are doing there. But the private school, do Lagos State have a team, a monitoring team that go around monitoring this? Because sometimes you just wake up and one room, you're seeing the name of a school. And you move from here to there, you're seeing, so it's like private schools are just springing up. Somebody wakes up from the bedroom, oh, I want to turn my room and parlor to private school. And you have pupils there. So is there a monitoring team that goes there? Because most of these things, sorry to say, happen mostly in private schools.
Yeah.
Is there you hear a whole lot, and these are the ones that we have heard, the ones that parents have not come out to say at the back, and most of them, they have cover up, they cover up this issue so that the name of their schools are not dented. So do they have a monitoring team that go about monitoring these things, and are there policies that...
Yes, yes. There's this, sorry, I hope it won't sound commercial.
No.
Okay. There's this body in Lagos State right now, or rather this initiative they call Safe Schools Lagos.
Okay.
All right, so this project is about ensuring that schools, both public and private, funny, public and private, key into this initiative.
Okay.
And what we do is that we go to schools to look around. We call it safety audit. Where we go around the entire school premises, look out for infractions, anything that is dangerous to the environment for children. Yeah, and then we point it out to the school authority, and we expect them to rectify those things. Yes,
to go back to
we say
find out whether they've done it.
And then we go back to find out if they have complied. Now, if they have not complied, we have the Lagos State Safety Commission. Yeah. So they are the ones, actually, they are the regulating body over this initiative.
Okay.
So the Lagos State Safety Commission officials go there and do enforcement. Now, enforcement could include abatement fees of course, close down the school
first.
That is what this project is all about. Because government must take responsibility. It's not all about being reactive every time. You know, you only show your muzzle when something has gone wrong. Exactly. So things have now been put in place whereby checks and balances. Your school must have safety policies. What is your emergency preparedness policy? A child suddenly collapses in school. What do you do about such a scenario? You know that a child is missing. I'm not saying it can happen, but in case it happens, a child is kidnapped in the school premises. You must have policies that will cover all this kind of things. You must have a policy whereby a child is sick. What do? Call the parent, the child is sick. Please call the parent. The child will be put in the sick bay, pending when there will be pickup. You understand? So policies like this, employment policy, teacher policy, how do you do background checks? How do you know that this teacher didn't commit a crime?
Before
coming to your own school.
Any reference?
Because when what you bring from another place, you're
from.
definitely going to do it in another school.
Yeah, definitely.
So policies like this is what the Lagos state government wants to be sure that schools have in place. There was a school we went to, and their dumping ground was just behind a classroom. And it was full and overloaded. And you wonder, and you keep children in this kind of place, there could be an outbreak of a disease. You understand? Some schools you go, you find out that their louvers are broken. And those edges can easily have little things. And you saw when you go to those schools and you point these things out to them, you expect them to correct them. So you tell them, we're going to give you so time, and then we come back to check.
Okay.
And when we expect, of course you expect them to have done it, but you'll be shocked that
Jimmy,
so many of them are not.
Jimmy, you said something earlier on. You talked about emergency, and I jotted that. I don't want to forget that question. Now, you said something about rhyme that children need to learn, that a child needs to learn so that it will be easy for such a child to use in terms of emergency. How can a young boy or girl, with the way this criminals, let me put it that way, who want to take advantage of such a child, will know that this person is coming to harm me, or this person is coming to, what are the things one needs to teach that child, and at what age, that when you see this is what you should do as a child? How can parents work?
So I'll answer that question with my experience.
Okay.
As a child, I remember that as young as I was, I don't know why these scenarios stuck in my head all these years, because I think at that time I should be like 5, 6.
Wow.
Yes, but that scenario stuck in my head. And I remember that my parents would always tell me, don't take things from strangers. Never take things from someone you don't know. So I remember one day, right in front of our house, there was this woman passing, and she was offering me sweets. Small girl, fine girl, come and take sweets. And I remember that my parents had told me, don't take things from strangers. And I ran away. I ran away. I didn't collect that thing. You know, it stuck all these years. So parents, it will always come back to parents. Teach your child. It's just an instruction. And it's not an instruction you give once. It's an instruction you continue to repeat over and over and over.
So how do you now put those safety rules in place?
Don't take things. It's still about dialogue.
Dialogue.
Just keep talking to them. Just keep talking to them. When you meet strangers, don't talk to strangers. Don't talk. You meet some children, whether you like, talk to them for money, they will not answer you. It is training from home, giving them instructions. Don't allow. Don't touch the fire. Avoid wherever you see fire burning. It's not like you say it once. You have to keep saying it. You have to ensure that you inculcate this safety culture in your children. So don't say, oh, I'm a busy parent. I am too involved in work. This same work could take these children away from you. So why don't you preempt bad things and put checks and balances in place that will ensure that you have a wholesome child? So emergencies can happen, but when they do happen, what will save your child are the instructions you have given to that child.
Okay, now let's leave the strangers out, because sometimes these things are perpetuated by people
that you know.
Yeah.
I remember then when my daughter was 3, I had taught her what she needed to know about herself. And now you see, people, for me, I would tell kids, address people the way they are related to you. This issue of calling everybody uncle and auntie, it doesn't work for me. And I used to be specific. this person is bloodly related to you. This is the relationship. So I'm always, even within parents, and I try to tell them, let them know, so that when something happens, you'll be able to trace it back to somebody. Not everybody is called uncle. Now, how do parents now, we are talking of schools resumption, and most parents have left children early, and some have people coming to pick them. How do parents guard against things that would cause heartbreaks? How do we guard against having issues of molestation reduced? How do we guard against, because sometimes some kids are home while parents are at work. And somebody they know will actually come to the house.
Definitely.
And so for how do they teach kids that even if this person is somebody you know too well, as long as I'm not around, or no, there's no adults around you, try as much as possible not to give so much information outside. Because some children, once you enter the house, in fact, they'll give you lowdown. You know, the lowdown and everything. So how do we avoid it, to avoid emergencies or cases like that?
It still comes back to the parents. Teaching these children. I don't know how well I can emphasize how very important the issue of training a child. Even the Holy Book says it, train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it. So each step of the way, the instructions you have given these children is what holds them. I remember growing up, all my mother had, all I have to do is look at my mother's face. And then whatever it is you're doing, you sit up. Oh, you know that one, right?
The children of nowadays,
you are just, why are you blinking?
Mommy is something in your eyes.
Mommy, what?
Have I done anything?
Yeah, you know, she will probably ask you, Mommy, what?
Or your parents will be kicking you under the table.
Yes, I said, Mommy, why are you kicking me? You don't want me to eat the rice. You've not heard that before. You don't want me to take the cake? Okay, she said I should not take the cake. Yeah.
You know, but in spite of all this, we still must find a way to train these children. Let them know what to do and what not to do. And it's just not about saying, don't let uncle touch you.
Touch me.
You know those days now. You say, if a man touch you, you will get pregnant. You know? So when you give instruction, tell them why that instruction is important. Don't allow anyone touch you, because that will be an abuse. No one should touch you in certain parts of your body, because it is an abuse on your person. Those places are private. So nobody should just call you and touch you like that. You understand? So as much as you are giving the child instruction, tell them why it shouldn't be done. You remember sometime last year when this issue of something, I don't know what was trending, something was trending at that time, and one very popular broadcaster said something that even she doesn't allow her husband and bathe her child. And people were angry. Does it mean you're suspecting your husband? Why shouldn't your husband be able to bathe his daughter? But you know that it's just a kind of training you are giving the child to know how precious her body is. That even me as the mother, I don't watch her private part. I allow her wash her private part herself. It's just a training, it's a mindset. You are giving that child to say, nobody can touch me anyhow. Nobody is allowed to touch me in my private parts. You understand? So parents must give time. If you don't have the time during the week, have that time at the weekend to give them training, talk to them, have conversations. It could start with, oh, what do you know about so thing? Have you heard about rape? Maybe you want to talk to them about rape. Just start a conversation. You understand? And you're very surprised that these children know something about everything.
They do. They know.
They know something about everything. And then you'll be shocked at what you are hearing. My children already know this. So let's not allow these children to have the answers to their questions from outside. Let's ensure that when these children have questions, we respond. Don't say, shut up! Where did you hear that from? The child has already heard.
So why are you shutting him?
So why are you shutting the child down up? They say, where are you hearing it? That's too big a topic for you to talk about. You shouldn't know about such things. The child already knows.
So why are you
shutting the child up? Just talk about that particular subject with the child. You don't have to really go too deep. Just give information. The little at that age, at whatever age that child is, you should be able to give a discussion. So that's how to raise a wholesome child.
Thank you so very much, Jumoke Michaels. Jumoke Michaels is a child safety advocate. She's also the Director, Communications and Compliance, Safe School Lagos. And this is all about our future. Like I said, they are the seeds that we need to grow. They need to grow and blossom and become great in life. Their future is in our hands. No matter how, busy we want to paint our time, everybody is busy. But in your being busy, create time, because you have decided on your own to go through that 9-month process and that you are ready. So when you are ready, you should also be ready to guide them, to help them to grow so that their future will be safe. I want to say a big thank you to Jumi for coming here. I don't know whether you have 1 minute last.
Yes, the last thing I want to add to say actually is for maybe the older children. Okay. Parents must order, structure, and consistent discipline. For the older children, many children now are getting out of hand. Ask them, where are you going? Who are you going with? What is the address of where you're going? You should have knowledge about where your child is part-time.
Yeah.
My daughter is almost 30, and I will ask her, send me your live location.
Yes, so
let me know where you are.
I do that.
So when you talk about safety, it's not about just the children, even the older ones. Yeah. Check them, know where they are, check their school bag, go into their room, look around and ensure that they're not doing things that you can't even imagine that your child will be involved in. So I think you can leave it at that.
Joy.
Thank you very much. It's been a very learning one from you.